It's Tuesday, February 7th. The lights went out, so you could only hear the buildings begin to fall. We start here. A series of earthquakes kills thousands in Turkey and Syria.
Entire neighborhoods completely destroyed.
The death toll has jumped again overnight, what rescuers are looking at. President Biden hasn't officially announced his re-election bid, but is this his first stump speech?
The president just has to lay out and make the argument that things are heading in the right direction.
The State of the Union is tonight. Mary Bruce is standing by at the White House. And days after a train crash, it got even more dangerous.
How confident are you in this plan?
It's a choice between two bad choices.
A town in Ohio is ordered to evacuate for a chemistry experiment. From ABC News, this is Start Here. I'm Brad Milkey. It was around 9 p.m. Eastern on Sunday when we started getting word there had been an earthquake in the Middle East, a big one affecting areas in eastern Turkey and northern Syria. Immediately, you could tell there were deaths here, but at first, those numbers were in the hundreds. They have quickly risen. As of this morning, we know there are well over 4,000 dead, and that number continues to rise rapidly. What you're about to hear, there is some disturbing audio here. Let's go to ABC's Ibtisam Gwenfood, based in Paris. She immediately hustled to Istanbul. That's where she joins us from now. And Ibtisam, first off, can you just describe the quake itself and what we know about it here?
Yeah, so that devastating earthquake occurred around 4 a.m. local time. So you have to imagine people are in their beds, asleep, and they literally get buried under their own roofs, under their own walls. We have seen video throughout the day coming out of entire building just crumbling to the ground, and also drone video showing entire neighborhoods completely destroyed. One thing that stuck with me particularly is seeing a lot of shocking video emerging throughout the day, shot mostly by rescue workers, excavating little kids completely covered in dust from under the ashes of their own bedrooms and still in their pajamas. These videos, you can tell, are going to be deeply traumatizing for everyone who is going through it or even just watching it. This is going to be something that is going to stay in Turkish history. President Erdogan mentioned how this event is one of the biggest catastrophes that they've seen in the last century.
Dün 85 milyon tek yürek.
This region is located on what they call experts call East Anatolian Fault in eastern Turkey, where two tectonic plates meet, and so it is not rare that some small earthquakes can happen, or at least some geological phenomenon like this happen. However, what has surprised experts is the intensity of that quake, and the fact that it was also followed by another earthquake later that day that was almost of similar intensity, over 7.5 magnitude, which is a very rare fact, experts tell us. So this is a major earthquake for the region, but also the conditions in which it's happening, followed by another quake, followed by other aftershocks in the dead of winter, in the middle of the night. It's truly a catastrophic event that is happening on a biblical scale.
Yeah, and how high could this death toll go at this point? I mean, are there estimates? Because the numbers have just skyrocketed in the last 24 hours.
It's hard to tell, but it's true that people are expecting, and leaders have been kind of warning that these numbers might even double in the coming days, because this is going to be a really long effort. Right now, there's still this hope that you might find survivors under the rubble, but after a while, it will only be the search for the dead. And at this stage, it's really hard to tell, but you have to imagine entire neighborhoods completely wiped out. So hundreds of thousands of people were living in those residential buildings. Most of the video that we're actually seeing high rises. So this is dozens of families that were living there, were sleeping there when this happened. So for sure, the number of casualties is going to be incredibly high and it's going to be continuing to rise sharply. We're getting ready to make our way to the earthquake zone, and over there it is snowing. When it's raining, it's that type of rain that really chills the bone. And you have to imagine that rescuers are finding it really difficult, not only to work in these conditions, but to keep hope alive that you might find survivors that not only manage to escape, the crushing weight of these concrete walls, but also managing to make it through the rough hours in the cold, in the rain. So this, of course, is making their work much harder.
Oh, I see. Like, even if you manage to survive and you're trapped in a building, it's a lot easier to survive those next couple days if the weather's warm. Like, there might be a limited amount of time for rescuers here.
That's right. Some of the cities have been touched, and that's why we're seeing videos. The most shocking video is of high rises, but some of the villages have also been affected. And that means that hundreds have been rendered homeless in the dead of winter.
The president authorized an immediate U.S. response in addition to the U.S. personnel currently on the ground. We are in the process of deploying additional teams to support Turkish search and rescue efforts.
This is also becoming increasingly a huge humanitarian crisis, because we are going to have to find a way to shelter these people. And just to give you an idea of the need here, this NGO called the Red Crescent, it's kind of the equivalent of the Red Cross here, is asking for 10,000 units of blood donations. So this is how dire the situation here is.
Just devastating and shocking, frankly, to see these death toll numbers go up and up and up. And let's not forget, not just Turkey here. You've also got thousands dead in Syria. And we're talking about some of the areas that have been affected so much during its civil war. You've got areas that were trying to rebuild for years in the middle of all this. And those structures, you got to think, we're probably not up to the task of dealing with a nearly 8.0 earthquake. All right. Ibtising Gunfood, they're in Istanbul on her way to the site right now. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Brad.
Next up on Start Here, if jobs numbers haven't made a dent in his disapproval ratings, what's a speech going to do? The state of President Biden after the break.
How often do these organs end up in American bodies? What are the secrets that most people don't know?
You should be very careful.
Let me see your ID card.
Wait.
This is a world you will have to live in. There's no going back.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
This is one of the most powerful projects I've ever been involved with.
I had never known Bakersfield to be a violent place. That changed pretty quickly.
The highest rate of officer-involved deaths anywhere in the country.
My son died in a shootout.
I'm calling the cops on the cops.
Who holds these people accountable? They met their match.
I love the true crime community because I can make a difference.
Police found a skull in a bucket of cement.
We're at a dead end.
So law enforcement turned to the public.
I was obsessed. This was one that I had to solve.
I got a phone call of you sitting down.
This is why I take blood pressure medicine.
Holy crap. My motto is go big or go home.
Web of Death, now streaming only on Hulu.
People here have a motto, NFL or bust.
From just a handful of high schools here have come nearly 24 NFL players.
You got the greatest hits in NFL history. We got 45 caliber shell cases here at the scene.
Mr. Adams' CTE pathology was different. It was unusually severe.
The entertainment has to stop. We got to put the person first.
There's a lot of pressure on kids to play in NFL here in this town.
This is Impact by Nightline, now streaming on Hulu.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're going to love it.
From America's #1 news source comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter. And it can customize to you and your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience what all the buzz is about. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now.
Reporting from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, I'm Elwyn Lopez. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Tonight is the State of the Union address, Joe Biden's third time addressing a joint session of Congress as president. And you got to think the draft of his speech has changed several times in recent days, especially the part about China.
The downing of that Chinese surveillance balloon.
They just shot it down. They just shot it.
Did you hear that?
Just shot it, dude. They just shot the balloon down, right?
China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs protesting the U.S. response and warning it reserves the right to take action.
Yesterday, vessels from the U.S. Navy were patrolling a miles-wide debris field off the North Carolina coastline where a huge Chinese surveillance balloon was shot down. And what they found so far is interesting. For one, we wondered how much steering control a balloon like this could actually have. Well, Admiral John Kirby said this one had a propeller and a rudder, meaning it could more easily hover in certain areas.
This balloon had the ability to maneuver itself, to speed up, to slow down.
We talked about how other balloons have apparently passed over the U.S. in recent years, including during the Trump administration, but Pentagon officials now admit they only learned about those after Trump left office.
At least on 3 occasions, surveillance balloons by the PRC transited U.S. airspace.
Like at the time, we had no idea balloons were here that could have been spying on us. And that's just one of many challenges the White House is facing right now. So let's check in with ABC senior White House correspondent Mary Bruce. She's at the West Wing. Mary, what are we going to hear tonight?
I can't promise in how much detail he might mention the balloon. China, for sure, will be a topic. But really, I think the overarching theme here is going to be on the economy, right? The president is going to argue that the economy is heading in the right direction and that his policies are working. We expect him to highlight that shockingly strong jobs report from last night, the unemployment rate now at a 53-year low. And he's also going to point to his policies like the Inflation Reduction Act, like the bipartisan infrastructure bill, and argue that what he has done so far in office is actually improving Americans' lives. But here's the issue. Despite some of the promising numbers, Americans aren't really feeling this necessarily in their wallets. And that is why I think you still see polling, like our latest ABC News Washington Post poll, that shows that 4 in 10 Americans, 4 in 10, say they are worse off financially now than they were when the president took office. So Biden has to make a compelling argument. He's going to be optimistic, but he also has to recognize that there's a lot of progress left to be made here and that a lot of Americans are still really hurting.
Yeah, how much is in his control at this point, Mary? Because like you said, when you're politically vulnerable, even after a shockingly good jobs report, what are there answers for him? Is there anything that's going to satisfy voters or viewers tonight?
Look, I think economists will tell you this economy right now is full of contradictions, right? The inflation numbers may be trending in the right direction, but those prices are still a big shock for consumers. The jobs report is great. So it's a mixed bag. The president just has to lay out and make the argument that things are heading in the right direction. And in addition to arguing as he will that, look, he deserves some credit for the way that things are heading in the right direction, he will say he also has to make the argument as we head into a presidential race that he deserves another 4 years to keep things going. And I think that's what really looms large over all of this. View tonight as a bit of a soft launch, right? This is a chance for him to really outline why he thinks his policies are having a positive impact on Americans, why they are improving Americans' lives, and why he deserves another shot to keep it going.
Yeah, and what is the vibe going to be like among Republicans during this, especially I'm thinking in this new Republican-controlled House?
Right, this is a whole new ballgame. He's speaking to a Republican-controlled House. the president, we are told, is going to try and reach across the aisle, say that he's willing to compromise on certain areas, that he's looking to work together. But look no further than the current fight over the debt ceiling to see that that is easier said than done, right? Republicans are still digging in on this fight over raising the debt limit. They're demanding steep spending cuts. The president doesn't want to couple any debate over the debt and the deficit with raising the debt limit. So we've seen a lot of positive talk there, but I think the president, don't expect him to go too hard against the other side. I think you're more likely to hear him say that they can work together on some of these issues. The question is it all talk, or will you actually see the two sides coming together? I wouldn't hold your breath on that one.
Yeah, that's interesting now that Kevin McCarthy's over his shoulder instead of Nancy Pelosi. All right, Mary Bruce at the White House, thanks so much.
Thanks, Brad.
It was a horrifying headline as we entered the weekend. A huge freight train had derailed in Ohio with dozens of train cars thrown around the tracks like Legos. A huge fire broke out, summoning emergency workers from all over the region. But a little while later, they were told to back off because it turned out many of these train cars were carrying toxic chemicals.
We are at a risk now of a catastrophic failure of that container.
That is when this went from a train disaster to a potentially much larger one.
We need you to leave now.
And so yesterday, authorities had to evacuate a big area near the site to make an even bigger fire as they burned off chemicals in the open air. Let's go to ABC's Alex Perche, who's based in Ohio. He's actually on the scene right now. And Alex, can you just describe, first of all, what this initial crash was and how it got sort of even worse as the days went along?
That is the $100,000 question right now. What caused this train to derail? 50 cars here derailing just on the border between Ohio and Pennsylvania. It happened Friday night just before 9 p.m.
An eastbound train which originated in Madison, Illinois, and en route to Conway, Pennsylvania, derailed in East Palestine, Ohio.
We know that there was a crew of about 3 on this train, no significant injuries. But, the NTSB right now is trying to figure out. They got one of the recording boxes. And so, that might in the coming days give some sort of indication as to, what went wrong here. When this first happened Friday night, it was a big explosion. We talked to folks that said that they heard the pop, pop, pop. And, this huge plume, and certainly we've seen some social video on Twitter just showing, the scope of this fire billowing into the night sky.
That whole entire night, I don't think I went to sleep until 5 o'clock because I was afraid, this big explosion or something would, take our windows out.
Initially, they asked people to evacuate.
Officials say at least 1,500 residents are being urged to leave as crews work to get the massive blaze under control.
This fire died down, and then what people tell us is that going into Saturday, it picked back up.
The creek by my house had a very, very strong chemical smell to it. I went in my house, it was worse.
It became pretty clear that some of these cars that had derailed and were involved in this fire had something called vinyl chloride. It's used to make plastics, but it's highly, highly toxic.
The vinyl chloride contents of 5 rail cars are currently unstable and could potentially explode, causing deadly disbursement of shrapnel and toxic fumes.
And you still had, some 500 folks in the area. The governor came through and doubled down on this mandatory evacuation.
If you have children, you're subject to arrest if you do not leave with these children. If they did not have children, they would have been told you need to leave.
Alex, I'm trying to imagine what I would say if someone knocked on my door and said, "Excuse me, sir, you need to leave your house because we're going to light some chemicals on fire." Like, is that essentially what happened?
Well, yeah, Brad, essentially. And I got to say, this whole area was kind of, buzzing with anticipation from, they called it a controlled release.
We're doing this so that we control this tank car that we have concerns with, these tank cars. This allows us to control that operation and not have the car react and do it itself.
Essentially, they blew holes in 5 of these cars carrying this vinyl chloride. The best way that I have to describe the aftermath of this, this huge plume, it looked like a tornado kind of spewing out over the skies.
right now you're seeing that thick black pillar of smoke rising up into the air.
But this is literally fighting fire with fire in some respect. I remember I got a chance to talk with Governor Mike DeWine. He was saying, like, I mean, there's not really a good option here. How confident are you in this plan?
Look, it's a choice between two bad choices.
These fumes from this vinyl chloride are going to kind of spill out by a 1 by 2 mile radius, kind of southeast, going towards the Pennsylvania border. It's a remote area. It's away from town. And basically, it just allows emergency crews to really kind of control the situation. It was going to blow one way or another, but at least this way it doesn't blow back on the town.
But will it be safe again? Like, because I can envision how long it takes to clean up a train crash. Like, it takes a while, but I at least can understand that. How long does it take for people to move back in after something like this?
Brad, you know, the fact of the matter is there's not really a good answer for that. Yes, the state is confident in their plan of attack here, but the fact of the matter is it's going to be a wait-and-see game. I was speaking with the Emergency Management Agency earlier, and the spokesperson was pretty matter-of-fact saying that they're going to have to continue air and water testing. And yes, they've told residents that there are no concerns. There's no reason to think that there's anything wrong with the air or the water. But this is something that they can't just rule out these risks overnight. I mean, it's going to take days of testing to really kind of see that they're through this.
And just a huge perimeter around there at this point. All right, Alex Berchet in Ohio. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brad.
Okay, one more quick break. When we come back, they got you to pay $5 for a soda. You thought that prime seat location wasn't going to cost extra? One last thing is next.
America's #1 news, ABC News. Most watched, most trusted, and streaming live to you anytime, anywhere, and free. This is ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Free to you 24/7. Watch America's #1 news whenever you want it, wherever you are, anytime. ABC News Live, streaming live and free on all platforms.
Bring them on. If only there was a place in the morning to start my day. With a smile, somewhere to help me get in the know. A place that's spectacular as well, me.
I think we might know a place, right, guys?
Bring your friends. Oh, wait, there is.
Good morning, America.
GMA, 7A, every day. Boom, boom, boom.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Robin. Good morning, America. How are you?
Boom. Now that's how you start your day, people.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you?
Can I hug you?
Yeah.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 12 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show. It's not the most current dance, but I do it really well.
First time I've been in a place that I love, doing something that I love.
With people that you love?
No, I didn't say that.
Come on, y'all, make some noise. I'm Janine.
Janine.
Gregory. Ava.
Ava's here.
Sorry, I don't speak line.
With so much at stake in our world right now, we wanted to thank you for your trust and for making ABC News America's #1 news.
And thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
This is one of the most powerful projects I've ever been involved with.
My son died in a shootout.
I'm calling the cops on the cops.
From America's #1 news source comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and it can customize to you and your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience what all the buzz is about. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now. More Americans choose ABC News, America's #1 news source.
Reporting from the border of Texas and Mexico, I'm Mireya Villarreal. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
And one last thing. If you've been to a movie at an AMC theater in the last year, you've probably seen Nicole Kidman and their little in-house commercial hopping from seat to seat in various auditoriums.
Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
Well, in a new plan unveiled yesterday, some of those seats could now cost different prices. Under this program called Sightline at AMC, seats in the middle of the theater, those ideally angled seats, will now cost more than the others. Seats way up front, as in the ones you would never catch me sitting in during a scary movie, they will cost less. The other seats apparently will cost about the same. Now, to anyone who's bought a ticket to a Broadway play or a concert in recent years, the concept here is not anything groundbreaking. People are willing to pay more for better seats. Movie houses in other countries practice the same concept, but for some reason, this has never permeated movie culture in this country.
Thank you for choosing AMC Theaters.
Unless it's a big sold-out premiere, you generally get your tickets, walk in with your friends, and pick any old seat you want. I always remember how much responsibility I felt in junior high when suddenly I was in charge of getting a good row. When people were late, you had to go full Elaine from Seinfeld.
These are taken. They're taken! They're taken!
Now, the movie-going experience could look much more like a Broadway house, with ushers making sure balcony dwellers don't sneak into the good seats. But think about it, it's not like theaters are full right now. This might not only be about extracting money from the center aisle. Rather, it might be about boosting membership for AMC's monthly pass, Stubbs A-List. Members of the monthly program can access preferred seating at no extra charge. That could be the sequel they're hoping for, a world in which we're buying movie tickets like subscription boxes. Whatever moviegoers choose, they'll have to do it fairly soon. Seat numbers will start getting checked in 1,000 AMC theaters by the end of the year. By the way, they also say matinees are not subject to this. They would start going into effect around 4 p.m. I still can't imagine I would pay extra money when I'm already paying like my $15 for popcorn and a drink. But what can you do? It's Chinatown. More on all these stories at abcnews.com or the ABC News app. I'm Brad Milkey. See you tomorrow.